Hello, and welcome to your lesson on how to find the length of a line segment. Before you started the video, you were asked to go to this activity on OERB. The instructions on how to get to OERB are right here and are also found on the Moodle. And this is how you get to the activity. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, please do that before watching the video. So, if this activity is not yet done, please press pause, complete the activity, and then come back to the video. So if you have finished it, what you would have found is that to find the length of this line segment, you can make a triangle, and this point right here would have the same x-coordinate as this point, so that would be x2, and it would have the same y-coordinate as this point right here, which is y1. So to get the length of this side, what you would be doing is taking the difference between the two x values. So if this x is 7 and this x is 3, that would make 7 subtract 3. This would make this length 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to get that side, you would take x2 minus x1. That would be the length of that side. The length of this side, so if this y value is 5 and this y value is 2, once again, 5 subtract 2 is equal to 3. 1, 2, 3. So once again, for this side, you're going to subtract the y values. Then what you'd be doing is using the Pythagorean theorem. So to find the length of this side, you have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Or if you take the square root of both sides, c is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So c is the length of AB. So to find the length of AB, you're going to write length AB, or you can just write AB. Doesn't matter, either one. So that's what C is equal to. So the length of AB is equal to A squared plus B squared. A is x2 minus x1. So it's x2 minus x1 squared plus b squared. B is y2 minus y1. So that's your formula. So it is C is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. And that's your formula for how to find the length of a line segment. So let's try a couple of examples. What will happen is I'll do a couple, and then you'll have a chance to try some on your own. So the first example, because the points are A, B, to find the length, you're going to write A, B. That's for your proper communication. So that's equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Now you're going to substitute. This is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So x2 minus x1. So square root of negative 4 minus 6 squared plus y2 minus y1. 1 minus 3 squared. Now, following BEDMAS, let's do what's inside the brackets first. Negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10 squared, plus, inside this bracket, 1 minus 3 is negative 2 squared. Now your exponents. Negative 10 squared is 100. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, so that's positive 4. 100 plus 4 is 104. And typically you would leave your answers as a square root. So you would just leave your answer like that. Sometimes the question will ask you to round to 1 or 2 decimal places, in which case you would use your calculator to figure out the square root of 104. But unless asked, you're just going to leave your answer as a square root. So let's look at example 2. So your two endpoints will be x1, y1 and x2, y2. So our endpoints are C and D. So we're going to find the length of CD, and that is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. To substitute, x2 minus x1 is negative 3 minus 5 squared, and then y2 minus y1, 4 minus negative 2 squared. Work out the brackets. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8 squared. 4 minus negative 2 is 6 squared. Negative 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. And 64 plus 36 is 100. Now, since we are able to take the square root of 100 without getting a decimal, you can write that as 10, because the square root of 100 is 10. So if you can take the square root without a decimal, do so. Otherwise, just leave it as a square root. So what you're going to do now is please pause the video and try examples 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own, and then come back to the video to check your answers. So press pause now, please. Okay, welcome back. Let's just check your answers. So for question 3, you can check your answer. You should get square root 50. And for question 4, you should end up with 10. You can pause the video if you need to look at these any longer. And then for 5 and 6, you should end up with 5 and 10. So again, pause the video if you need to look at these longer. Other than that, that's how you find the length of a line segment. So if there is anything you didn't understand, please make note of it and ask your teacher in class tomorrow or the next day. Thanks and goodbye.